Welcome to the Socialette podcast, where we empower you with the marketing know-how you need to create the business of your dreams. I'm your host, Steph Taylor, and I'm a marketing nerd, Shiraz lover, and passport stamp collector. Join me as I dive into all things small business marketing and deliver them to you in bite-sized, fluff-free lessons every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Let's get learning. Hey, welcome back to the Socialette podcast. This is episode 100. Yay! I am so excited that this podcast baby of mine has made it to 100 episodes. Like, what started out as a little bit of a side project has now become something so much bigger than I ever thought it would be. It's introduced me to people I would never have otherwise met. It has opened up doors that otherwise never would have opened. And I'm just so grateful to all of you listeners who have made this podcast what it is. Thank you so much for all of your kind words. Just even the fact that you have listened to this podcast is enough to make me want to keep doing it. So thank you so much. Anyway, so as I mentioned, today is episode 100 and it's also releasing on my birthday. So as a little bit of a treat, I thought I would gather around a couple of my business buddies and get everyone to share their biggest lesson or their biggest mistake or their biggest tip for running a business. Now, this is pretty exciting because some of the people you'll hear today are very seasoned in the business game. They have been in it a lot longer than I have. And then there are people like me who are in our first couple of years. So I think regardless of where you're at in your business, you're going to learn something from these amazing people today. To start with, let me kick it off with my biggest business mistake so far. My biggest business mistake so far was sticking with a broken business model for far longer than I should have, simply because my pride and my ego just wouldn't let me accept the fact that, hey, I wasn't succeeding at something. And you know what? I wish I'd pivoted earlier, but I didn't, and I learned from it.
Hey, what's up? This is Travis Chappell from Build Your Network. And the biggest lesson that I've learned so far in business is to have patience. If you think that your wildest dreams are going to come true within 3 or 6 months of getting into what you're doing, then you are in for a big surprise. So learn to stick through it, learn to be persistent, and to put in the work consistently. And over time, that is when the real success comes.
Hey there, it's Carl Taylor from Automation Agency, and what I've learned over the last 17 years that I have been in business are many things, but the thing that stands out the most as the biggest tip I could share is hire a team. Don't try and do everything yourself. You know, trying to be every part of your business is setting you up for burnout, exhaustion, and not long-term success. Hire freelancers, hire agencies, hire direct team members, whatever you need to do, get a team around you who can help support the vision and mission that you're after, and that will make the biggest difference in your business.
Hey, this is Laptop Laura Peterson from Copy That Pops. And the biggest lesson that I've learned is business entrepreneurship is a complete roller coaster. It's going to have huge ups and huge downs. So just know that going in and never give up. That's the only way that you can lose, is giving up. Ride out those difficult times because huge successes are in your path if you never give up.
G'day everyone, Mike from Beyond Billables here, and I've made lots of mistakes in business, but I guess the biggest one was not investing enough in my business and paying myself too much in my recruitment business simply to keep up with the Joneses and keep up a lifestyle that I thought I really valued, but in the end, I actually didn't. I really wish we had invested more money to hire people and actually build a scalable business instead of being self-employed. And that ended up being a big problem for me because I didn't want to keep doing the work. And then I had no one to do it for me. So big lesson, don't take all the money out, invest properly in your business, and you don't need to keep up with the Joneses, because one day if you do that, you'll actually have a business that you can step out of and it has real value.
Hey, this is Jordan Harbinger of The Jordan Harbinger Show. I would say for the last 12 years or so of being in business, and frankly, even before that when I was an attorney, the most important concept, the most important idea by far that I learned was that truly it is all about who you know, your network, and who knows you and who will vouch for you, who has your back. And so digging that well before you're thirsty, creating relationships before you need them, constantly re-engaging people via text message, email, keeping in touch with people even though you have no idea how they might ever help you, if they'll ever help you, or if you can even help them, and just trying to be an all-around value-adding person by introducing other people inside your network, among other techniques. This has been the best insurance against hard times. It's been the healthiest to stay sane emotionally. It's been great for emotional support as a business owner. It's been great for revenue generation. It's the type of downtime insurance that you can't purchase that is just so valuable, because when you are stripped bare of pretty much everything, what you've got left are your skills, your work ethic, your reputation, and your network, if you built one. And if you didn't, you're in trouble. So start now. The best time to plant a tree was 100 years ago. The second best time is right now. Start building those relationships, maintaining those relationships. Don't deprioritize it. This is not some sort of nice to have. This is a crucial foundational skill set of any business owner who's going to be successful.
Hey, this is Natalie Jennings from Jennings Photo and a Face Project podcast. And the biggest lesson I've learned in business so far is clarity of focus. To have a strategy and a goal around that strategy that is clear, that you can focus on every day to move forward in your business and not get sidetracked by the millions of distractions that we face all the time.
Hi, my name's Anita and I'm from Wordfetti, and my biggest business screw up would have to be the fact that I tried to do literally everything that I had planned for my business at once, and yeah, that led me to burnout.
Hey there, Omar Zenhom here from Webinar Ninja and the $100 MBA Show. So what is the biggest lesson I learned in business as an entrepreneur? Well, one word, consistency. Now, I know that sounds cliche, like whatever, dude, consistency, we get it, keep on going. But seriously, you gotta keep on going. You always hear only the strong survive, but I believe the people that survive become strong. People that keep on going make it in business. And that's really your mission. No matter what happens, no matter what you try and you fail and doesn't work out and all that kind of stuff, you got to get up in the morning every day and keep going at it. You got to keep trying. It can get discouraging at times. It can get frustrating at times. You can get angry, depressed. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact you got to keep moving forward. Keep trying. Keep trying to get better. Try to grow your business. Try to expand your network. You got to keep improving. And that's my advice to you. That's what I learned, that the only way to make it is to keep trying your best every morning. That's what I do. When I wake up in the morning, I try to tell myself, I got a whole laundry list of things I have to do. I know this, but the only way I'm going to really have the right mindset is say, hey, just try your best to just do it. And the fact that I show up every day, that is an achievement enough. If you keep showing up, you will keep on winning. Thanks, guys, and I hope this is helpful in some way.
Hey there, this is Angela from Angela Henderson Consulting, and a huge hello from sunny Brisbane, Australia. My biggest lesson I've learned so far in business is that I should have paid to play earlier on in business. I should have invested in myself earlier in the piece and paid to be around those entrepreneurs and business owners that were already well established, who had already made the mistakes, but also who are well connected, because when you pay to play, you inevitably grow faster and more supported and meet so many different amazing connections. Now that I've realized the importance of pay to play by going to exclusive masterminds like Chris Ducker's in the Philippines or James Remco's over in the Maldives, my business has gone from strength to strength. Not just because of the speakers I've met, but because of the peers I'm now surrounded with who have helped me take my business to the next level. So if you're sitting on the fence trying to work out what's missing in business, explore where you are currently paying to play and where you need to pay to play. Because I tell you, my friends, it is a game changer. This is Ange from Angela Henderson Consulting. Have an awesome day.
Hey, it's Leanne Hughes from the First Time Facilitator podcast. If you're listening in, it shows that you value learning and continuous improvement, which is fantastic. Look, my advice to business owners is to really just track your energy levels through the day. Figure out when you're feeling most productive and most creative to do the work that requires that innovative thinking. And chunk your time so that when you're feeling like least inspired, pretty much all of us, it's after lunch, you're working on business as usual tasks, things like admin. Congratulations on 100 episodes, Steph. That's a massive achievement, and cheers to 100 more.
Hey, I'm Jason Mallowan, portrait photographer extraordinaire. I would say the biggest lesson that I've ever learned in business is niching. When I finally drew a line in the sand and said, this is the one specific thing that I do and I do it better than anybody else, that changed the way I sold what I do. It changed the way I communicate with clients. It changed the entire conversation. And that's the single biggest thing that's changed my business.
Hey, this is Harry Duran, host of Podcast Junkies, conversations with amazing and inspiring podcasters since 2014. One of the most important lessons I've learned as a podcaster is to not underestimate the importance of the relationships you're building with both your audience and the guests who come on your show. My mantra is to always treat your guests like gold, and I can't tell you how many important and lifelong relationships I've built as a result of my podcast. So don't take those for granted. Treat everyone special that listens to your show and that comes on your show as well.
Hey, Steph, it's Dave Jackson from the schoolofpodcasting.com. I think for me, the biggest lesson I've learned so far in business is anytime my business is not reacting the way I want it to react and things are not moving along as fast as they could, and I'm kind of burnt out and I'm kind of frustrated, that's when I step back and go, oh, look, I have 17 number one priorities, and that typically does not work. So I step back, I figure out what it is I want to do, and then break that into bite-sized chunks and just go baby step and nail it. But being focused, I think, is the number one thing I've learned over the years. Thanks so much, and congrats on episode 100.
Hey, this is Ronsley from Amplify Agency, and we are podcast. The biggest lesson I've learned in business is that we create success and failures as ego metrics, and we kind of pursue goals, and everyone tells you to go and pursue a goal, and you feel like you're a failure if you don't achieve that goal. You feel like you're a success if you do achieve that goal, and you talk about it all the time. But what if you changed your perspective? And that's the thing that I learned in business, is that if you could change your perspective, that if you can find out what kind of a person you will become as a result of attempting that goal, and that becomes your focus, that what kind of a person that will you become as a result of attempting writing a New York Times bestseller, or creating a podcast, or going out and starting your business for the first time. It doesn't matter what that is. What kind of a person would you become if you attempted that goal? Think about that.
Hey guys, Steph here again. I'm going to now wrap up this episode with my biggest business lesson so far. And my biggest lesson has been to not get so caught up in the day-to-day that you forget to look at the bigger picture of your business. Sometimes the day-to-day isn't going to be all rainbows and all butterflies and unicorns and all of that. But if you know how the hard work and the tough times are bringing you a little bit closer to your goal, your purpose, your vision, whatever you want to call it, then you're going to find it so much easier to keep going, even when things are tough. Thank you so much to everyone who has contributed to this episode. It really means a lot to me that you guys have taken the time to do this. Thank you to everyone who's listened to the last 100 episodes, and here's to the next 100.